So the Clean Energy for Development Call to Action, what we call CEDCA, is a group of 12 projects totaling about 18.4 million Canadian dollars. These are projects that are basically have come together to bring researchers, actors who work with investors and implementers of climate action initiatives and interventions. And it brings them together to come forward with a common research agenda.
We see energy, clean energy, as the golden thread between economic development, social inclusion, and environmental protection, as I would say. For us, when we look at the possibilities of the low carbon transition, we also see a lot of the challenges, and we really see that without intensive and intentional interventions, that women, young people, youth, other vulnerable groups will be left behind. They have so much to contribute to the clean energy transition, and they should be the benefiters of this transition.
What I think is really interesting about this program, and what I think it makes it unique, is it's the first time that I've seen researchers and other stakeholders in a room, researchers who come from universities, who come from think tanks, who come from non-governmental organizations.
What I hope this CEDCA cohort will achieve is, first of all, South-South collaboration and connection, and getting that localized voice from communities to a grander scale, an international scale.
So I think often when we look at research or we read research, there's all kinds of recommendations for what national policymakers should do, or those who work in the investing world, but we don't actually see that in conversation with each other.
Much of the climate science that we hear, read about, and see is really directed by northern institutions, northern researchers, and CEDCA is one of the ways in which we're trying to contribute to changing that, having those expert researchers and implementers, the private sector, that are really based in the realities on the ground and act as a conduit for communities. We want those voices in the international sphere.
One of the things that I find is really exciting now in international development is there's real dialogue and real acknowledgement and conversation around what some people call inclusivity, but basically around consulting different groups, understanding what really vulnerable groups need, understanding, for example, what informal women workers need, what women-led businesses need. So that is the true meaning of inclusion.